Do you ever wish for that day to come along where you randomly have an unexpected encounter with an NBA player? Like when LeBron and that Portland lady bumped into each other and then shared a very special moment together.
Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this.
I'm sure we can all agree that would be pretty cool if that happened to any of us. But sometimes those fantasies don't go down the way they were envisioned, which can be disappointing if you're a big fan of theirs. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the most unplanned encounters that took people by surprise. Okay, not all of them are bad, but still, they are encounters that these people will never forget.
My cousin Carlton, he don't have no problem buying clothes because he's so short, he just rips them off his G.I. Joe doll and wears them right out the box.
Man, can you imagine that feeling? Being in front of a large amount of people and things don't really go the way you were hoping for? Well, that's what happened to Natalie Gilbert, an 8th grader chosen to sing the national anthem. It was 2003, in Portland. The Blazers were about to face the Mavs in a pivotal playoff game. Everyone was ready for the big matchup, and all that was left to do was to let Natalie have her shining moment.
Oh, say can you see? The stars like stars.
As you can see, she looks absolutely terrified, just out there all alone with all eyes on her. It looked like there was no way she can possibly recover from this, until suddenly Maurice Cheeks, an all-time Sixers great and then coach of the Trailblazers, went out there to give her a little hand.
Stars like last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Amazingly, everyone began to sing along with them, kicking off the night with an incredible moment. And here's what Natalie had to say about it. Quote, "It was like a guardian angel had come and put his arm around my shoulder and helped me get through one of the most difficult experiences I've ever had." When it came to Dennis Rodman, people learned to kinda expect something crazy when things didn't go his way. It wasn't really surprising at all to see Rodman behave in such a manner. But in 1997, he did something so insane that it even left this cameraman speechless. Usually, when players crash into cameramen on the sidelines, the players make sure to never retaliate. Even if they do get hurt, they know that they're just doing their job. But Rodman isn't just any player. He had no problem letting you know how he feels. During the third quarter of a January game between the Bulls and Timberwolves, Rodman, as usual, relentlessly goes after a rebound. And that's when he trips on a cameraman's foot, which angers him enough to kick the guy in the leg. And the cameraman, whose name is Eugene Amos, was instantly shocked. He couldn't believe what just happened. But then he got an idea to suddenly act like he's in severe pain.
I'm not gonna make it.
Now the man acts like he's dying.
Dennis, along with everyone else, knew exactly what he was trying to do. But hey, you gotta give it to him. He sold it to the point that they even brought out a stretcher for him. Ultimately, Dennis agreed to give Eugene $200,000 if everyone would just let this situation go. And just like that, he finessed his way to a huge payday. For many years after the incident, Eugene Amos said that he would get recognized on the street every once in a while and doesn't mind the fact that he's now known for more than just a cameraman. Throughout the years, we've seen several fans knock down a half-court shot for some prize money, but in the case of Michael Dryche, this might have been the only time that the money wasn't even the biggest prize. Michael has one interesting hobby. He tries to enter as much online sweepstakes as possible in order to increase his chances on being selected. It doesn't matter what contest it is, you better believe he already entered it. And in early 2013, his persistency finally paid off. During a timeout in a game between the Pistons and Heat, Dryche was selected out of 30,000 people to have the opportunity to win $75,000 if he hits a half-court shot. And what came next altered his life forever.
That shot, along with the help of LeBron, automatically transformed him into a minor celebrity. The rapid views it was getting online made him internet famous, and soon after, it seemed like everyone wanted to talk to him, inviting him onto many talk shows. This moment went viral, even inspiring a new trend as well, and there's no doubt these two will remember this day forever. What a lucky guy. Being able to say that you hugged LeBron is something that most of us will never be able to do. Well, this next woman kinda did, but she probably wished it was as innocent as that. She received something on a whole nother level and could have been life-threatening.
It's okay.
Unlike most sports, basketball gives their fans the privilege to be up close and personal with the players, basically on the court with them, which is pretty awesome, but sometimes can put you in danger as well. 2015, the Oklahoma City Thunder were facing the Cleveland Cavaliers. Late in the fourth quarter, the two teams were positioned for a jump ball. It looked like Westbrook claimed possession, but LeBron didn't give up on the play, which led to him diving to save the ball, landing on a defenseless young woman. With LeBron realizing that the game was still in play, he immediately popped right back up and continued to play. But when they noticed that she was still laying on the ground, they knew it was serious. Eventually, the girl was put on a stretcher and was rushed to the hospital. And then shockingly, we all found out that the woman was the wife of golfer Jason Day. And it turns out she actually suffered a concussion. Later on, LeBron hopped on Twitter to apologize, and Day's wife, Ellie, thankfully updated us on Twitter as well, saying that she is okay, and described that incident with LeBron felt like she was hit by a truck. Now let's transition to an actual car crash, where Allen Iverson saved the day. So just the other night, I was having a conversation with my mom, and she mentioned something unbelievable. She said that back in the 1970s, my grandpa was waiting for my grandma in a grocery store parking lot on a very hot summer day, and my grandma was taking an extremely long time shopping in the store. So my grandpa fell asleep in the car. Then, out of nowhere, he hears somebody knocking on the car window, and lo and behold, it was Trailblazers superstar Bill Walton. And Bill said he just wanted to make sure my grandpa wasn't passed out in the car. And as soon as I heard that story, not only did it give me the idea of this video about random encounters, it also reminded me of a similar situation involving Allen Iverson that nobody really talks about. It was fall 2007 when AI was on the Denver Nuggets. Eileen Mellon and her friend Ashley were on their way to Hampton, Virginia, driving from Newport News, Virginia on Interstate 64. It was after midnight when Eileen reached for her phone while driving onto an exit ramp, when suddenly she looked up and saw construction cones, so she quickly swerved in an attempt to avoid the cones, but instead the car lost control and ended up flipping 3 times. And here's how they described what happened. Quote, "I turned the car off. I just figured I should do that. We were fine. And then there was someone knocking on the window, asking if we were alright. He told us to roll down the window. I had to turn the car back on. He pulled us out, and when I looked up, I said, 'Oh my god, you're Allen Iverson.' And here's what Iverson had to say. Quote, 'My friends and I were on our way to see my uncle's house. I just saw the car on the left side of the road. The car was smoking. I was like, we've got to see what's up with these people. I feel good that they're appreciative. I look at it as just being a human being. They needed help, and people have helped me before.'" Next is another example where a player was on the scene of an accident. It was around Christmas 2017. Early in the morning, Evan Turner, then Blazer, who lived in a neighborhood west of downtown Portland, was woken up by a loud sound. At first, Turner thought it was his Christmas tree that fell over. But then, his personal chef ran into his room to inform him that a huge garbage truck had fallen into his pool. And how did that even happen, you might ask? Well, as you can see here, it was said that the truck driver approached a sharp curve and lost control, which led to the truck rolling down an embankment. And the first half of the vehicle was submerged in the water of Evan Turner's pool. And while emergency responders were on their way, Evan Turner credits his personal chef for saving the guy's life by holding his head above water until first responders arrived. And they ended up having to use the jaws of life to get
the driver out, with what was supposed to be a relaxing morning turned out to be one that was completely unexpected.
Do you know if it's still in your pool right now?
It is. They're, like everybody else, are trying to figure out how to get it out of my pool and up there. So if anybody got an idea, I'll trade that for tickets or something.
Do you ever wonder what it's like to be super famous,
I want to be famous.
but not at the same time? Well, John Stockton might have an idea of what it's like. The 1992 Dream Team were in Barcelona for the Summer Olympics, and the players were frustrated because they were constantly stuck in traffic for most of their visit, and they knew that they couldn't just walk on the street without getting rushed by fans. But Stockton grew sick of it, so he decided to take the risk and walk to their destination, meeting up with his family in the process. And he quickly realized that he was able to walk around completely undisturbed, even putting his fame to the test by coming up with a little experiment. Here, have a look.
Are you an American?
But of course.
You look wonderful.
Why, thank you.
You like the Dream Team, huh?
Of course. We met Charles Barkley the other night.
Did ya? He's a hell of a player. See, you got all the players right there on your shirt. Is Charles the only one you've ever seen?
He's the only one I've ever met.
Hey, guys, do you know any of those guys on there? What? Who? Who's that?
That's my dad.
That's your dad? Too bad he's not here.
You play on a team?
I do, yeah.
Who is that guy?
We're making a point that nobody ever recognized you.
And that random interaction is a story that she can tell for the rest of her life. Klay Thompson also experienced a similar situation when he was in New York. A news reporter saw Klay walking down the street, so she decided to go up to him and ask him about scaffolding of all things, and he agreed to be interviewed. But it was later revealed that apparently she had no idea that he was an NBA player.
You kind of had a viral video this morning where you're just randomly talking on the street with a news report. Just how did that happen?
I was walking and she asked me if I wanted to do an interview. And I said sure. Interesting topic.
Every once in a while, Kyle Lowry gets into it with the crowd. He's one of those people who believes the fans should respect the players at all times. We all remember when Lowry launched himself into the front row in Game 3 of the 2019 NBA Finals, which led to this man pushing him off. This incident made headlines everywhere the next morning. But one thing I noticed is, why does nobody ever mention the woman who was low-key the real victim? I mean, just look at the replay. Lowry made her sit down real quick. Even though he will be the one most associated with this moment, there's no doubt this will be stuck in her memory for a long time. Alright, last one guys. I know I mentioned LeBron quite a few times in this video, but I got one more for you. Back in LeBron's final season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were in New York City, and due to the heavy traffic that is always present there, the team was forced to take the subway back to their hotel, and their massive bodies took up a lot of room on the train, squishing the passengers, and this guy wasn't too happy about it.
Hey, what's squishy? What's squishy? I don't know this dude right here, he tripping. Hey, D-Way. Hey, well, we on this train?
Man, we out here, dog. Hey. We out here.
It was said that the guy, who turns out to be a comedian and a real estate agent, thought that the Cavs were just some random college team and didn't realize he was sitting next to one of the most famous people in the world. And it was only until after his friends reached out to him on social media is when he learned just how significant that interaction was. So those were some of the most extraordinary run-ins that normal people had with NBA players. If you think I forgot one that definitely should have made this video, make sure to comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.